He's a two-time Pulitzer Prize winner, National Book Award winner, Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient. His books have taken us on a tour from America's founding to the Panama Canal, the Wright brothers, and the presidencies of Teddy Roosevelt, Harry Truman, and John Adams, just to name a few. His latest work is The American Spirit, Who We Are and What We Stand For. It's a collection of his own terrific speeches over the last few decades. David McCullough, it's great to see you again.
Thank you, Jim.
Now, David, I've heard you say in the past, my specialty is dead politicians.
Yes.
You pretty much honored that motto last night. You were at the Profile and Courage Award, and when you were asked about how will history judge Barack Obama, you pretty much kept to that. But you haven't kept to that with Donald Trump. In July of last year, you and Ken Burns and others formed Historians on Trump and really took him to task. Why did you violate your own motto?
Because I was outraged by the behavior of the candidate. This was during the election campaign still.
What in particular?
I guess it began when he first demeaned John McCain. Yeah. And a man who's avoided the draft 6 times or something, to say anything derogatory or cynical about someone who went through what McCain did was outrageous. Then when he made fun of the handicapped man in the press conference, and of course the disgusting things he said about women, and I think that one of the points that's not been made clear is it wasn't just that women were offended by that, but men too. And to say it was just locker room talk, I've never heard that kind of talk in a locker room. And I just thought, wait a minute. When I think of the kind of people we've had as president of the United States, and this man is in the running to become president, we've got to speak out. And Ken and I decided we would do something about it. And I think in the end we had something like 50 historians, biographers and historians.
A pretty esteemed group, I should say. I've heard you say, and you said to us on the radio the other day, one of the things that troubles you most about Donald Trump, the candidate and the president, is his disregard for history.
Yes.
I wanted to play you a little bit of something the president said on Sirius XM radio on May 1 and get your reaction if I can.
I mean, had Andrew Jackson been a little bit later, you wouldn't have had the Civil War. He said there's no reason for this. People don't realize, the Civil War, you think about it, why? People don't ask that question. But why was there the Civil War? Why could that one not have been worked out?
Why could that one not have been? I guess Lincoln's overrated. What was your reaction when you heard it?
Well, I couldn't believe it. I saw the interview when Dickerson was doing that interview. And then when he said something about it, a lot of people implying he, too, didn't know that Lincoln was a Republican. But I don't want to stress the negative about the 45th president, because my strong feeling is that everyone in the country should understand that knowing the history of our country, knowing who we are and why we are the way we are, and what we value and what we've been through is essential, not just to being a good citizen and understanding how our government works, but is essential to the larger experience of being alive. Why should we confine ourselves to the brief biological time that we have when the whole realm of the human experience is available to us?
Well, when I read your book, which I recommend to everyone, The American Spirit, a collection of speeches over a few decades, one of the things that comes through, you have one of the most positive attitudes of anyone I've ever encountered. You know more, which puts you in you gave a speech to some grads, I think it was Ohio University in 2004. You refer to corruption and loudmouths when some people keep crying the country is going to the dogs. And you go on to say 90% are good people, generous-hearted, work hard, et cetera, et cetera. Do you still believe that in 2017? Donald Trump was elected by 60-plus million of those people. Do you still believe that?
I believe, yes. Absolutely.
So what happened on November 8th? Where did you think they went wrong? How can they be that good-hearted, that generous-hearted, that good, and have done so wrong, according to David McCullough?
First of all, his opponent won by 3 million votes.
She did get 3 million more votes.
And we must not disregard that. That's very important. I think that a great many people feel they've been left out, and they have. a great many people feel that the world is passing them by, that they can't get in on what seems to be the privilege of a more educated and advanced part of society. A great many people are disgusted by the influence of big money, but then why would they want to have a candidate who's not only big money, he's colossal money?
So can you answer your own question?
No, I can't. But I also think it has a lot to do, and I hope you won't mind this, Jim,
Yes.
with television.
How so?
Well, he's a television star. He was known that way. The spectator aspect of American society today, the adoration of sports stars and TV stars and all that, is out of proportion. No question about it. And the attraction of someone who puts on a show, it's as old as the human race. Con artists, the carnival con man, the snake oil salesman, the super salesman, get them into the tent, say whatever it takes. It's part of the culture, and it's gotten into politics. But it's always been to a degree in politics.
You know, you say, we only have a minute left, Dave, but you mentioned that you believe young people in particular are historically illiterate. I know you think the president is too. Is that the road to the promised land for us now, is to learn more about history, to read
absolutely.
more? Is that how we get from here to
We
there?
have to recover where we were. Ignorance of history is a form of amnesia. We've got a country that's slipping into that. And it's not the fault of our students. It's our faults. We parents, we grandparents have to do more. Take them to historic places. We have a magnificent new Revolutionary War, American Revolution Museum is just opened in Philadelphia.
My hometown.
There's never been anything like it. It's fantastic. And so that's progress. That's good news. And take your children there. Take your grandchildren there.
Can I make one more suggestion? Before they get to the museum, they can read this book. That's a good path to the promised land. David McCullough, it's an honor to see you.
And you keep up the good work.
Well, you're a kind soul.
No.
Fabulous book, collection of great speeches. Again, the book is The American Spirit, Who We Are, and What We Stand For.